Good morning, welcome to Mountain Bar Outdoors. Happy New Year to you all. Hope you had a fantastic Christmas. So today I've got a Mora Garberg to show you. I'm sure you've seen a few thousand videos of Mora Garbergs, but I just want to discuss what I think may be a negative point in buying a Garberg, why you might want to sort of consider one of Mora's different cheaper options. So let's get all the accessories out of the way for a start. So you've got your multi-mount system, so you've got your back plate, which the knife sits in there. You then wrap the straps around, you can molly that onto your bag, onto your gear. No dramas there. Let's get rid of those. So you also get the option of putting this retention strap on. I know some of the older Garbergs it was actually a leather strap. I don't know what this is, some sort of synthetic material. You can see from the back in there, it's definitely not leather. You get the obviously retention band on the sheath there. The retention band's actually been improved on the newer models. It actually clips on as opposed to just sort of sliding on. As you can see, you need a little bit of pressure to get it off. And on the back of the sheath there now we've got these little retaining studs there, which will then, you'll probably click in a minute if I push it in. You need a little bit of hand pressure to get that on. Quite a tight fit. There we are, we're in. That's not coming off. Also you get the belt dangler loop thing that comes with it as well. I've got no complaints with that. Again, on the inside you've just got these little tiny little nubs there that will actually push fit onto the sheath to stop it just dropping off. So that's an improvement. I know some people using super glue and stuff like that to hold it all together. So that's all the accessories you get in the box. This is obviously the plastic version that I picked up. Personal preference, if you like leather, go for leather. So the blade then, pulling it out of the sheath, there's no thumb detent like you'd get on a clipper. If I show you this one, you'll see just there's a little thumb ramp there, so when you pull the blade out you put your thumb on and you push off against and it actually comes. The Garberg doesn't have that for some reason. I'm wondering if they've made the sheath ambidextrous, so you can reinsert it, pull it out, put it in whichever way you fancy. The clipper you can't do that, so that could be a plus or a minus depending on, again, personal preference. So the blade, obviously being a Garberg, we all know is going to be full tang. This is the stainless model, by the way. So the overall blade length is 4.3 inches. You've got the full tang design. You can see the pommel sticking out the bottom, which has got a 90-degree spine on it. 90-degree spine on top is also extremely sharp, which is great. The handle is plastic. The clipper, you get this sort of rubbery overmold. I think I prefer the rubbery overmold if I'm completely honest with you, so that's another win for the companion. This plastic, yeah, it's probably going to be obviously more durable long term because it's not going to wear away from sort of being ground around in your hand or in the mud and dirt and so on. Allegedly this is a Scandi grind, however, if you read all the reviews, mine certainly came this way. I don't know if you'll be able to make it out on the camera, but if you have a little look on the edge of that, you can actually see there's a secondary bevel on that Scandi grind. Just a tiny little secondary bevel. This is the only Mora I've had that's come with a secondary bevel. All the other Moras, companions, this one does have a secondary bevel on it because I ground that on myself. They all come purely Scandi ground. Now, if you've got a purely Scandi ground knife, obviously it's going to be probably a little bit sharper, but what I have found through extensive use of the companion is that having a secondary bevel on your knife, I've found, tends to make the edge last that little bit longer in between sharpening, at the trade-off of being ever so slightly less sharp. So out of the box this was disappointingly blunt almost. It came out and you can see there's some quite prominent grind marks along that blade, so it doesn't look wonderful, let's be honest. Also got a couple of marks on the steel there where it's been clamped or whatever, so it's not sort of a mirror polish finish like you get with the companion, but you're going to use it, so who cares. So like I said, talked about the 90-degree spine on this knife. It is really good for using with a fire steel or ferro rod. Just give you a quick absolutely fantastic. It throws sparks all over the shop. I really can't knock it for that. That's fantastic performance. compared to what you get from one of these little strikers. This thing absolutely eats through the steel. You can see it's cut a large gouge through that ferro rod, and it throws sparks all over the shop. So this is going to be really, really useful for getting a fire going. So I know Dutch Bushcraft Knives gave this a 10 out of 10 for throwing sparks, and I can see why now. That's absolutely fantastic. So it's a huge plus having a 90-degree spine on the Garberg. The companion out of the box, it doesn't come with that. You're going to have to file that on yourself. Now in terms of usage, it's a full tang knife obviously, but obviously you can't see the tang for the side there. It's actually sort of a square. It's not like the full thickness of the handle, the tang on there. It says slots, there's cutouts. I might be able to splice a picture in of a actual blade blank. But cutouts, so to lock it all into this plastic handle. So it is a full tang, but not in what I call in the strictest sense of the word, because it sort of tapers into that shape inside the handle. So price, 55, I got this for in the sales. I wouldn't say it's worth the initial, I think they were going for about 80, 90 pounds when they first came onto the market. I don't think it's worth that at all. Not when you can pick up a companion for £10. So it's a little bit heavier. Obviously this is 247 grams, this one's significantly lighter. This is 3.2mm thick, this is 2.4. So you've got that little bit of extra thickness. The steel is 14 CN, this is a 12, so allegedly this is a slightly higher grade steel, but I think you're splitting hairs, to be honest. Learn to sharpen your knives. So overall, what do I think? Yes, it's been done to death on YouTube. There's plenty of destruction videos. Survival Lily does a video where she bashes on this thing with a rock, and there's a few other people that have really gone to town on a Garberg to try and test it and break it. And yeah, of course you can break it. It's a lump of steel. You hit it hard enough with anything like a rock, and you can snap tips off. You're going to ruin your knife. I'm not going to do that. I can't afford to keep replacing my knives, but yeah, there's plenty of videos out there if you want to have a look. So just food for thought. A couple of the key differences between the Mora Garberg and the much cheaper clipper option. If you want a 3.2mm knife, or you want something a little bit thicker, a bit more substantial, they do the companion heavy duty. You can have that in stainless now as well, which is my personal preference, and you can have that for about 20 quid. So I think this is extremely expensive for what it is. Having said that, I think it is probably the toughest out of the bunch in terms of well, overall long-term longevity. Paul Kirtley is a UK bushcraft instructor, and there is a video that he does. He's had one for about 18 months. He's had good experiences with his. If you want a long-term test review, check out Paul Kirtley's channel and he'll give you the lowdown on that. So I hope you found the little video useful, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.